Hey everyone, I finished watching the next episode of Lightspeed Rescue, The Last Ranger. It was okay. Now, one of the really weird things about this one is it's a clip show episode, but it's actually kind of good. Yeah. What's the reverse of being spoiled? Because I've been that the last couple of years for the clip shows. Wow, the clip shows in the last couple of years are bad. And then there's this one, which is so strange. It reminds me of the Dino Fury episode Old Foes, which is kind of a clip show. I just finished watching Orange Ranger videos review about it, and like one of the things I thought was really strange in Old Foes of Dino Fury was the clips didn't even really need to be there. Like it just felt like an afterthought. Like the creators were like, "Oh yeah, we should probably put like clips in this," because it really didn't seem like it needed them. Like it was an episode that didn't need padding. You could have had more character stuff, or more Ranger stuff, or more villain stuff. That's kind of how this Lightspeed episode feels, where like the clips, we don't really need to see them as an audience, and they go by so quickly that it's just all right. Like, did they really save money doing this? Like, I kind of think that they might have just thought, like, as a creative choice, yeah, we're gonna have this be a clip show. So anyway, the episode begins with, it begins right off the bat with a monster attacking the city, and the monster has a great line. He fires a laser at a building and says, "I never liked that building." It reminds me of an SPD where there's a monster destroying a building, and it says, "I hate empty buildings," except this line isn't really stupid like that one. So, oh, and also was kind of an interesting line because, like, how long has this monster even been around? Like, in Lightspeed, the monsters, like, I don't know if they have, like, a life before this or not. I don't think they do. I think they just spontaneously appear out of those cards the bad guys have. If that's even where he came from. Maybe he just showed up. Who knows? So, yeah, back to the episode. The Rangers show up to fight him. Dana stays behind to take care of some civilians. The monster, what was his name? Memorizer. We don't hear his name until like way at the end when Jinxer makes him grow. So yeah, Memorizer plays this, or he shoots the Rangers with this sound attack. It's the exact same sound that what's his name, Decibat back in Lost Galaxy used on the Rangers. So that's a neat little thing. I wonder if he's some kind of relation to him. Who knows? Dana shows up to the Rangers, and the Rangers have lost their memories. The monster leaves because like my personal theory is that the sound attack he uses, since he only uses it once, maybe it takes a lot of energy to use, and that's why he never uses it again. And maybe the reason he retreats is because now he's weaker or something. I don't know. So yeah, the Rangers are back at the Aqua Base, and they just happen to have this machine that'll unblock brainwave something or other, technobabble. Fairweather hooks all the Rangers up to it, and there's an interesting thing. The Rangers, uh, their memories of being Rangers are gone, but their previous lives, they remember that just fine, and they all think that that's still what they're doing. Carter says he has to leave because he's a fireman. There might be an emergency. Joel wants, or crap, who was it? Oh yeah, Chad says he has to get to the water park. So anyway, the Rangers are all hooked up to the thing, and slowly they regain their memories. There was something I was thinking about. Now I can't remember what. There was something going on during, like, in between that. It cuts back to the bad guys. They talk for a little while. Diabolico does. Oh, this is something. Diabolico in this episode isn't really as imposing as he typically is. Olympius is talking about his plan, or Diabolico is. I don't remember who was talking about what to who, but I don't know. Diabolico just seemed really different in this one. His personality seemed a bit off. He didn't feel like himself. Maybe he wasn't feeling good that day. So yeah, anyway, back to the Rangers. The Rangers are slowly regaining their memories through the machine, and we get to see a bunch of little clips of them. And one of the really nice things is the clips go by really quick, and they're actually all fairly relevant. And one of the interesting things is there's no context for a lot of the scenes. We get a clip from the Fifth Crystal with Kelsey, and it's the scene right after she's yelled at by her grandmother, and Carter's trying to comfort her, and there's no context for it. We don't know what she's crying about. She's disappointed someone, uh, and she's like adamant to make things better. That's it. That's the whole clip, and I kind of like that because I don't know. It feels rewarding to the longtime viewers because the longtime viewers are like, oh yeah, I remember that scene. I remember the context of that episode. So that's kind of a cool little thing they did. If you like Lightspeed. If you didn't like Lightspeed, seeing these clips without context would probably just be really like annoying. um, so yeah, the Rangers all regain their memories, and they wake up. They're out of the machine except for Carter. Then the machine like does something. Sparks are shooting everywhere. They get him out, and he doesn't have his memory back. They don't know what's going on. They don't know if it's his whole memory or what's going on. Oh, and also, while they were all hooked up to the thing, Dana went out to fight the monster on her own. The other Rangers join her, except for Carter, who still doesn't have his memory back. He's watching on the screen the Rangers fighting the monster, and then all of a sudden, he gets flashbacks of scenes I don't think were actually ever in the show. There's a scene of him and one of the Rangers like playing checkers or something. Them at a baseball game, I think, eating ice cream, something. So anyway, he goes to join the Rangers. And the monster is defeated. Jinxer shows up, makes the monster grow. And for the first time in a long time in Lightspeed, the monster growing doesn't feel like out of nowhere and just like padding. It feels like a natural progression of the episode, like how it did back in Mighty Morphin when the monsters would grow. A lot of times in Lightspeed, the monsters are a weird situation where the monsters oftentimes feel like an afterthought. Like the main focus of the plot is the plot, like some like character issue or something. It's the monster is not the focus. In this episode, the monster is the focus. He's the cause of the main conflict of the episode. So him growing at the end actually fits for once in a long time in Lightspeed. But nonetheless, he's defeated very quickly. The Rangers are back at the Aqua Base, just as Captain Mitchell is coming up to tell them that they have a new training mission to go on. And Joel, being himself, doesn't want to be involved with it, and he feigns amnesia to get out of it. And Fairweather's like, oh, that's too bad, because I really wanted to ask that Green Ranger out on a date, and the Rangers all laugh at the end. So, yeah, this is a decent episode. Not amazing, nothing, like, too revolutionary or groundbreaking, but not every episode has to be. One of the things that was kind of weird about it, that made it kind of a weaker episode, though, was there's... The Rangers themselves are really passive throughout everything. None of them, like, do anything themselves to... Like, they're not really proactive. Like, they lose their memories, they're put in the machine, they get their memories back. The end. Like, aside from, like, typical Power Ranger stuff, them fighting the monster and finding some way around defeating the monster, they don't really overcome any particular obstacle or anything, so... I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me. Like, so many of the episodes of Lightspeed usually focused around, like, character stuff, and this one is just straight action. There isn't really any character stuff, like, in the main plot. So, like, I don't know what to think about that. I mean, I don't really mind, because the episode's okay. Especially after Trakina's Revenge, which is just a really void of an episode. Like, it's just a bunch of nothing. Nothing really entertaining about it. Like, or, well, it is entertaining to me. I have nostalgia for it, but not very good. This episode, it's fine. Not really much else to say about it. This is a pretty standard, blandish episode. Like, I could imagine if somebody, like, had never seen Power Rangers and you show them this, whether or not they like this episode might be like a good indicator if like they'd like other seasons of the show. If they really liked this and thought, "Oh, this was pretty cool," that's a good bet they'd probably like the series. If they absolutely hated this, you might want to show them something with a little bit more character in it instead of just straight action. So that's all for this one. See ya.